pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I want to begin tonight with a little bad news, some sad news. Lee Tarantino, who was a longtime member of this finance committee, passed away this morning. We're gonna miss Lee. He was a very valuable and well-respected member of this committee. He was a public servant that was dedicated to doing the right thing, and we're gonna miss him on the committee, and just the his presence here will be sorely missed. So if we could all just have just 1 minute of silence in remembrance of Lee. All right. Oh, thank you.
Chairman, I'd like to say just a couple of things. Lee was a good friend, as he was to all of us on this committee, and he served for a long time. But I also had the privilege of serving with him on 2 other major committees in this town, which he chaired. One was the Town Government Study Committee, and the other was the Town Charter Review Committee. Thankless job to chair both of those committees. He was a marvelous chairman, always in good humor, no matter how irritating and sometimes confrontational the meetings became. This town has lost, as you said, a valuable public servant, and I've lost a good friend whom I met and really knew only primarily through our work in town government, but he was certainly involved in that right up to the hilt.
I just want to say our condolences and our prayers go to his family at this time, and we will miss him. Right, Mike?
It's good to see you all. Yeah. I'd like to thank the department heads that have been bringing their budgets forward while I've been out, and just bring you some updates. We did have the auditors in a few meetings ago, and the audit went well again this year. Just a few of the important things that they pointed out, that we did have reserves of 8 to 10% for the last budget process, which they felt is where we should be. You should have like 9% in reserves, which is money you have in your stabilization plus your free cash each year. Our tax collections are doing very well at 98%, and I told them that's when you hire the daughter of a Marine, then make sure that they get those collections in. And I think in your packet you have, I just wanted you to see the free cash. It will show you some of the sources of the turnbacks, and which they felt were very appropriate for our size budget. And they also said, estimating your revenue or your receipts conservatively helps also in maintaining that reserve that we need to have. There's 2 sheets in your packet, in the middle, I believe, where there's the management discussion analysis. The first page is page 6 out of the audit, where it talks about the general fund free cash that was certified of $2,168,859, and the main items that made that the key factors that attributed to the free cash were unexpended and unencumbered appropriations of $941,000 and excess over budget state and local receipts of $971,800. And then on the back side of that, you can see where the different the top part is revenues and how they exceeded estimates. And the next section is where the turnbacks came from. You'll see general government, 120,000. The bulk of that is what's left over out of your 150,000 stabilization, reserve fund, I'm sorry. Public safety, 102,000. Public works, 84,000. Education, 43,000. And employee benefits and insurance, 310,000, which was something that we're still seeing the benefits of today, the change in the health insurance. Our health insurance this year is increasing 5%. The plan that we were on went up 20%. So it's a significant savings for us. Last year, over $1 million, and then this year, much smaller increase than we would have had. So we're continuing to benefit from that change that the employees made in the health insurance. Couple future items they did talk about was at some point we really should have financial policies in place. And also they were talking about the future of OPEB and continuing to put some money in our OPEB like we have been, and then looking a long way down the line in 2028, Bristol County should be fully funded.
Ugh.
And so that's the target date for fully funding the Bristol County pension system. So that money that we're putting in Bristol County every year in our budget could be dedicated to OPEB in the future. Not sure how many of us will be here in 2028, but we'll let them know to keep that in mind.
We'll have to vote on that.
Our snow and ice, just to let you know where we are with the snow and ice, right to date, we've spent $127,000. Budget was $80,000, so we're $47,000 over. But we also have POs out there for salt and sand, which will bring the deficit up to $76,643, which isn't bad. Hopefully we can. They're wrong about snow coming in on Sunday and Tuesday, and we can keep that down. I'm working on my budget right now, though my budget isn't technically due until it's the end of the month. I told the selectmen that I would present my budget to them, the budget for the town, this Thursday. As you know, there's been a lot of talk out there about an override possibility, and so with an override, the ballot question, the drop dead date to get it to the town clerk is March 27th to be on the April ballot. So to move the process up, I'm working on finishing up this week with a proposed budget for the town. And at the selectmen's meeting on Thursday night, the school committee is attending also, and we'll have a discussion on what the town budget looks like and what their budget looks like, and any possibility of an override will be discussed Thursday night. Right now, if you look at the revenue and expenditure sheet, for the town budget and the school budget, there's $159,265 available. So that's what I'm working on this week. Any questions on any of that?
On the what you just mentioned, the revenues and expenditures, where is that? I just got to the page right now and I couldn't. What was the dollar amount that you said?
Down the very bottom on the right, surplus/deficit, 39,159,265 is what's available for appropriation.
39 million, I hope.
39 million.
39,000.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to do that.
All right. And we've provided you tonight with also the water and sewer indirect costs that are in the budget, and the, I think you also have the local receipts estimates for the year. And we've also opened the special town meeting warrant. So we've given notice to all departments. And there's also in the packet free cash history that you can see what our free cash has been over since 2002, when it was a negative 551,000. Ouch. And so as you can imagine, in a year when you had a negative of that much, how many years it took you to make up.
No, and I know it's come back a while, you weren't able, do you know what caused the jump from 2003 to 4? I mean, that's when we started getting the, it went from 93,000 to 1.2 million, and it's fluctuated, up and around that figure. I mean,
I think that's when James Puello started working. When did you start working here, James? Not till 2006, okay. I'll have to check.
Don in 2007.
Maybe when Jim Purcell started.
Yeah. The 2007, 2008 was a real bad, that's when everything fell apart in that cycle. As far as back in 2002, 2003, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And as I said, the deadline for the warrant for the special is March 14th at 4 o'clock. Go into budgets.
Yep, we can go ahead with those.
First budget is accounting. In the budget, salaries, contractual salary increases, in stipends, and then in expenses. The audit, there's a slight increase from 24,500 to 25,000. And other expenses are pretty flat, other than a slight increase in office supplies and bookbinding. And the town accountant's here if you have any questions on the town accountant's budget.
I don't have any questions. Any questions for the town accountant?
Thank you. And we've been very fortunate, that's why the audits go so smoothly. Our financial departments do a great job. Okay. Next is planning, and I don't know how many of you have had a chance to meet Tabitha Harkin. Tabitha has recently come on board as our planning economic development director. Do you want to talk on your budget?
Sure.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thanks for having me. I believe you have copies of what I gave to Michelle to include in your packets.
Yep.
And tonight is talking about the level services budget. Yeah. So that would be the narrative from pages 1 to 5. And then the attachment is spreadsheets starting on page 10 for the level services budget. It is a reduction from what was appropriated in FY 2017. I think that's mainly due to my salary being slightly less than the predecessor. But everything else is the same. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Thank you.
Thank
A lot of
you.
information. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You're welcome.
Lots of information that I haven't had time to digest.
While I'm looking for the next budget, as Tabitha said, I did ask all department heads, and in anticipation of a possible override, to give me their level services budget and also a needs-based budget, which I don't believe has been presented to you as the department heads came forward. I have held that in case an override did move forward, then we'd bring that out. Next is zoning board of appeals, not much to be said, $300 for office supplies.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay. Next is the selectmen's budget. Part-time salaries for the two people, the selectman's secretary and also the recording secretary for the selectmen's meetings. Slight increases in the part-time wages for the recording secretary for the selectmen's meetings due to salary increases. And then on the expense side, most of the items stay the same, a slight increase in office supplies, and everything else is level.
Any questions?
The next budget is town manager. The changes on the salary side due to contractual increases. And on the expense side, level. I should say there is a slight increase, I'm sorry, in the mileage car allowance, increase of 2,000.
And why is that?
That's a contractual item in the contract.
Any questions?
And the next is Finance Committee. $1,310 level funded from FY17. And the last budget is legal services, and that's level funded at $70,000. Right now, we're doing good this year so far, but you never know what's going to crop up. But I'm confident that we'll be okay. In FY16, we spent $68,586, so hopefully things keep going good this year also. Just another thing I wanted to mention, if you noticed, at the town meeting in October, we appropriated money for the grant that we got for $15,000 for the 4 cars, 3 hybrids, 1 all-electric. and the charging stations were put in out front and on the side of the building. And so the lease for the 4 cars for 3 years, plus the charging stations, the whole package was $15,000 for the whole 3-year period. So pretty good deal. The cars are working out well. We're still waiting for the all-electric car to arrive. And I probably I should put a sign out front by the charging stations, because I haven't seen any non-town car use it, and it's really a benefit for anyone in town that may have a electric car that needs to charge up when they're at the town hall. So we'll put a sign out there and let them know those can be used.
When the Board of Health was here, he discussed that with us, and he said that they will make some sort of a public announcement.
Yeah.
That it's available, because I'm sure nobody knows it's there.
So what do we expect that'll cost us in electrical costs
I
over the next few years? If
Yeah.
Let the public just,
I'll have to look at that and see how much it actually uses, how much electric. You can plug them in into a regular outlet. I mean, they don't have to be in anything special even. There's a cord in the back of the car, so you can plug it into an outlet at your house if you had to. But I'll check on that. And we recently did get our first $80,000 check for solar on the landfill. And we should be seeing some savings in our electric bills from that, and I'll bring that to you at a future point to show you what the schools and the town are benefiting from that at 7 cents a kilowatt.
Mike?
I'm sorry, Paul.
A question that goes back, right at the beginning when you were talking about the audit. You said that our reserves were made up of free cash and stabilization. We got a ruling a few years back that reserves that we had in capital improvements, also, whatever we had in capital improvements also count as reserves. That's correct, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So it's really those 3 items that.
Yeah.
that-
Just one question came up after the assessor was here, but there was a list of properties that were on the books, but no taxes had been collected. Is that?
Well, I know that the treasurer had an auction this year, and James, do you remember how much money?
She told us.
she told us, yeah.
What did she say?
It was $15,000 for 5 properties.
Yeah, we got a lot more than that, though. It was somewhere between 60 or 70 something thousand in properties that were auctioned off. So she'll do the same again. She works with the attorney to determine which ones are ready to go, and
I think she said 15,000 they kept because some properties didn't sell or something like
Yeah.
that. But there was like, I don't know, someone put money down to buy it but didn't actually finally buy it or something
And
like
they
that.
kept the deposit?
Yeah, they kept the
I
deposit,
think
yeah.
15,000 was we kept the
Okay.
deposit, which is free money.
yeah. All right. Thank you.
Oh, we have. All right, the only thing we left, we have minutes.
Next week, we got what, 3? Next week, we just have the 3 departments, excuse me, Mike, next week, the 3 departments. Wednesday, next Wednesday. Town clerk, elections and registrations, and school.
Yep. When's Southeastern? Are they next week or is that?
Southeastern is
22nd.
determined,
Okay, we just got their number today. The number that's on your sheet is
is their number.
their number.
Is their number, great.
No explanation yet, just the one
on.
letter with the amount.
And we can always try not to pay it. We did that one year. That was very colorful.
And I'll bring my budget proposal next week that I submit to the selectmen.
And just as a reminder, the animal control and inspections.
I'll do those.
Will be presented.
Yep, okay,
Oh, absolutely.
thank you.
You need it.
You. All right, the only thing left is minutes from the last meeting, March 1st.
If there's some encroachment that the building inspector isn't sure of as to.
Right, under the state, you know, the state.
So a motion?
Chairman? Move we accept the minutes as read, as written.
Second.
Motion to second. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? One abstention. All right, seeing nothing else on the agenda. Entertain a motion.
We adjourned.
Quick question. That $80,000 from the solar farm, is that an annual rent or lease or?
I'm not sure. I think it
I
should
think
be.
it's per what they sell. In other words, what they produce and sell. We get a certain cents,
metering.
7 cents on a
Okay.
On
so
a
it's-
kilowatt or
it's
something like
based
that?
on production.
based on production, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it is.
Depends on how semi it is.
Yeah, right.
Any other business, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor,